Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. To be honest guys, in this video I want to tackle a bit of a serious topic, and it is in relation to Mark. If you guys are not aware, Mark has kind of been like sort of a flirting with the idea of maybe not putting out content, and he's kind of really got back into the game. One of the things that Mark really hadn't spoken about much until this video was the kind of level of negativity that had kind of been pushed his way. I get it sometimes, but not to the extent of Mark, to be completely honest, because he spends money in this game. He gets comments about, oh mate, you've got a serious gambling addiction, you need to seek help and all this kind of stuff, and it's obviously started to build on him to the point where he is now thinking about stepping back properly from the game. Now, I'm someone who cares about my friends, right, and I do consider Mark to be a friend. He's someone that I started talking to really early on this journey, and just joking about and stuff, you know, like being friendly with him in the community, and he's a really nice guy. He enjoys playing the game, he plays at a different kind of spending level than other people do, maybe. He's not like an Omega whale or anything like that, but he does spend money on the game, and at the start, no one had an issue with it. In fact, people used to say, oh, are you going to show us another Mark spends 50,000 tickets or whatever. I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit in the amount of tickets, right? But people would look forward to them. People would share those videos and say, oh, in a jokey way, look at this dumbass whale spending all these tokens on this divination banner. Love you, man. Like, it was banter, it was fun. But the tone has shifted quite a bit in the preceding months, and it's become a little bit of a tribalistic thing where you're either fully in the free-to-play camp or you're not, and if you're not in the free-to-play camp, you suck and you're an idiot kind of thing. I do not get the mindset, and it's tantamount to bullying at certain points. Right now, Mark's a grown-ass man. Mark can handle himself, and he's not asked me to speak for him, you know. But at the end of the day, I feel like when you're friends with someone, if you see injustice, so to speak, you've got a moral responsibility to stand up for your friends, and that's what I'm doing now. I honestly, people might not agree with some of the opinions I'm about to come across with in this video, but they're my opinions, I'm entitled to them, and I really don't care what people think, right? Now, I'm going to jump over to one of his other videos, and this triggered me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, it did, right? Because, you know what, I'll just get to it, right? So anyway, if we go and look at this video, this was on one of his other videos. Someone who comments a lot on my videos, I'm not going to shame the guy, because you know what, really, he's pissed off. Like, I get it, I know why you don't like people spending in the game, right? Because you're pissed off, the game's let you down, you wanted this game to do really, really well and not make a lot of bad decisions, and I'm fairly sure if it didn't make a lot of bad decisions, you would not give a crap about what money people spend in the game, right? I feel honestly, and I'm obviously speaking to you, Yasin, I feel like if they hadn't made all the bad choices that they had made up to this point, you wouldn't care if people were spending money. It's more to do with the fact that they've made all these bad choices and people are spending, and you feel like, oh my god, you're rewarding these motherfuckers. I know that's what your problem is, right? I get that, but don't take it out on Mark, right? Don't honestly, because the guy's like, I'll get to it in a minute, right? But if you read through this here, the actual one that's pissed me off more than anything is the bottom comment, right? And I'm going to read the bottom comment, and I'm going to share my thoughts on it, right? And I don't really care who it upsets, because again, they're my thoughts and I'll say what I think. So I'm moving my head so you can read it, right? So the bottom comment: well, it's definitely his money, but no disrespect, Mark does have a serious addiction. Right, first of all, how do you know he's got a serious addiction, right? Let me just explain something. I know a lot about addiction, right? I'm going to be real with you guys here. I don't really care. I'm an open book. I'm not scared to share my life story. My mum was a drug addict. My mum died because of being a drug addict. I grew up around addiction. I personally, myself, have struggled with ADHD, and I didn't know I had ADHD, right? And that causes you to have like impulse control issues and to have dopamine seeking behaviours that leads to addiction. So I was addicted to cannabis at one point, I was addicted to harder drugs, nothing too hard, like just like party drugs, you know. I was someone who used to like drinking alcohol. I was addicted to food at a point, and I was addicted to gambling at points, and I didn't really know like what it was. It was strange. It was never really the compulsion of, I don't know, trying to get the thrill of winning, because like drugs, for example, I never really got the whole thing that everyone else got. I never, like, it just made me feel normal. That's the best way to describe it. And it wasn't until later on in life I found out that was me basically essentially trying to balance out the dopamine in my brain. I don't have those issues now at all. I haven't for years, like for a long time, even before I knew I had ADHD. Well, the eating, that's how I got so fat, right? But like once I was diagnosed with ADHD and I started to understand and I got my medication, and I don't have those same dopamine seeking behaviours anymore, right? But talking about Mark in relation to addiction, right? Now, first of all, we don't know Mark's financial status, right? We don't, none of us do, right? Mark could quite easily have set himself an entertainment budget, right? Where he's decided that, you know what, I've got enough disposable income that I'm going to set aside $500 to $1,000 that I'm willing to spend on these games, movies, whatever, right? Everyone has got different lifestyles, everyone has got different budgets, everyone has got different needs, wants, desires and allowances that they're willing to make to meet those needs, wants and desires, right? For me, I might say to myself, do you know what, I've got £200 a month that I'm willing to spend on shite, whatever I want, whether it's money in a gacha game, whether it's pizzas, whether it's takeaways, whether it's going to the movies, whatever, right? That's my entertainment budget. I can do whatever I want with that. If someone's got a lot more money than me, their budget's going to be higher. Who am I to judge what they do with that? Who are you to judge what they do with that? That is up to them, right? And if they choose to spend it in a gacha game, so be it. Doesn't mean they're addicted. I mean, they might be addicted, right? But who are we to say that? We don't know, right? So first of all, I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that, right? And it is his money, but you're setting a bad example to the community. Again, when Mark started making content for this community, the community was loving Mark for spending. They were loving seeing him summon, they were loving getting entertainment out of watching him getting shafted, right? It was literally part of the appeal of his channel. It was what it was set up on. And do you know what? To judge him for that now, when he was kind of essentially thrust into the populace or popularity or lexicon or whatever the fuck you call it, I think that's a bit poor, because again, it's his decision and he has never actually placed himself in the position of being someone who you should aspire to be like. Mark is not that type of creator. Mark is not the type of creator that's been like, guys, look at me, I like to lead by example, follow me, right? So honestly, I don't feel like Mark is setting a bad example, because he's never positioned himself to be an example in the first place, okay? All you're doing is flexing your account. He does flex his account a little bit, right? I'm not going to lie, he does flex his account a little bit. But do you know what? Again, that's part of what he's doing on his channel. Like, you could say that someone who's going, oh look, I've got this free-to-play account, I've managed to do XYZ on my free-to-play account. Are they not flexing their progress? I mean, okay, yes, they haven't spent money to do it, but they are still saying, look at me, look at what I've done. That is flexing. Okay, people maybe see flexing as a negative, and it's not always. Like, you can show off something because you're proud of it. You're not necessarily showing something off to rub it in people's faces. They're two different things. However, both of them are still flexing, right? So we will judge someone for saying, oh look how cool this is, I've got this unit, that unit and that unit, but we won't judge someone for saying, oh, I've been able to beat this stage, that stage and that stage, and I've not spent any money. I mean, both of these things are the same, so to judge someone for one and not the other, why? Right, anyway. You need to seek help. Learn from Painblade. He no longer spends. Maybe that's the reason why your channel is slowly dying. Right, for a start, before I get to the first part of that statement, I'll get to the end. I mean, that is one of the most backhanded apologies I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's the reason why your channel is slowly dying. Blessings. Well, I mean, that's a bit of a prick statement, to be honest. Like, I don't really know if that's trying to wrap things up in cotton wool and make it seem nice or something, but to like say to the guy, you know what I mean, oh, you spend money, that's why your channel's dying. But blessings. I mean, it's a bit of an asshole comment to make. I mean, if you go back to the start, you need to learn to seek help from Painblade. Like, you guys know I talk to Painblade. If he gets upset at me saying this, I really don't care, because I'm speaking from the heart. I'm saying what I want to say. Painblade is not a fucking therapist. He is not everyone's fucking therapist on Twitter, on fucking YouTube, where we as content creators need to go to Painblade to seek help. What? Like, really? Honestly? I'm a grown-ass man. Mark's a grown-ass man. Payne's a grown-ass man. Payne spent fucking 13 grand. He spent more than any of us. He spent more than me and Mark combined, and we have to go to Painblade for help? What? Like, Payne decided to stop spending money in the game, right? Fair play to him. Well done. Awesome. He's managed to recoup that money by pumping out shit tons of content. Fair play to him. That's great, right? Fantastic. Payne knew he had an addiction problem, just like I did. If you go back and you watch, before Payne even started talking about addiction stuff, I put out a video called My Dangerous Addiction, where I went over issues I've had in the past. I was pretty open about it. I've never hidden away from it. But at the same time, I don't think I have the moral authority to tell people what they should or shouldn't do, right? Which is why when I make videos, I say to people, look, don't use me as an example. I'm stupid. I'll summon on a banner when I know I probably shouldn't summon on a banner. But if I say to you, look guys, this probably isn't worth doing, then if you want to listen to that advice, that's entirely up to you. But at the same time, if you want to spend, I'm not going to judge you for it, right? I'm totally not, right? Whereas with Payne, he 100% bought into the, I don't want to do this anymore, don't want to spend anymore, and the community received that quite well. So I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but that's kind of almost become Payne's shtick now, so to speak, where he is the free-to-play, I don't mean messiah, that sounds wrong, right, but you know what I'm saying, he's like the free-to-play guru, where like people go there for that type of thing now, you know, and it works for him, you know, it works for him, that's his content style, and he doesn't want to spend anymore. People want to see that type of content. It makes it easier for him not to spend because that's what people want to see. Right, fantastic. But Mark doesn't need to go to Payne for advice. Right? He doesn't. Like, Mark is a grown-ass man. Mark has a decent disposable income. Mark has chosen to do things differently. Mark shouldn't be judged for that. Like, Mark should not be judged for that. I just feel like you need to, I mean this in the nicest way possible, people need to stop expecting others to conform to the standards that they themselves and their heads have set for other people. If you don't like the fact that someone like Mark wants to spend on this game, the best thing you can do is what Mark said in that comment that I showed you, is don't subscribe to his channel and ultimately don't watch his content, right? I don't think that's necessarily fair, because you can get a different perspective from different people. Some people can be funny. I've been accused at times of being funny. Don't know if I necessarily agree with it. Some people can be negative. Some people can be an asshole, you know? Some people can be all of these things. I'd like to think that's what I am. I'm all of them. I mean, I'm a fucking nice guy. I'm an asshole. I'm stupid. I'm everything, because, you know what? I'm human. And I like to expose my humanity to you guys when I make content. And I feel like Mark is a genuine person. Mark doesn't try to hide behind anything. Mark doesn't try to show you one face and he's something else. Mark just puts it out there, you know. That is what Mark does. Mark makes content that he enjoys. He doesn't sit and try and cater all his content to every single person that he thinks might potentially be out there as an audience. He just puts out what he enjoys. Like I've said to Mark, right, and this is how I know that Mark is 100% genuine. I've said to Mark, don't put that summoning video out there, mate, because they're just going to hate on you, like they are. And he's like, well, but I've summoned for this character, I've enjoyed getting this character. And I'm like, oh, go for it, mate, you know, because he's not doing the content because he's thinking to himself, is this going to be popular? Is that going to be popular? And I respect that. I mean, I respect that. He's putting videos out there because he's happy. He wants to share the fact that he done well. And do you know what? This is the same guy that used to put out videos when he didn't do well. He would put out videos of him getting absolutely murdered when he would do summonings. So I don't think he's flexing at all. I think he's just sharing his excitement, his enthusiasm for the game. And it's sad to see people trying to bring him down and trying to, I don't know, kill his drive and kill his motivation. He's my friend. I like the guy. I want him to continue making content in this space, and I want people to not pick on him. I mean, yeah, he's a grown-ass man and sticks and stones and all the rest of it. Some people might see that as, but when you're doing these videos, you know, Mark's a bit like me, where he doesn't go about deleting all the negative comments. Some content creators do that. I mean, it's a thing, like you see it in channels all the time. Like big channels tell you to do it, other channels tell you not to read the comments, you know. So like some people have moderators that just take them away before you can even see them. Mark doesn't do that. I don't do that. I leave them there. I mean, I've slowly over the years started to learn that sometimes you've just got to ignore them, but I still leave them there, because you know what, the only kind of comments I'll ever personally remove is if someone's trying to use my platform to push their agenda. That's a different story. But if someone just wants to disagree and have a go at me, I'm not going to take that away. And I'll probably get comments like that in this video, so I'll leave them there and you'll see it if you read the comments. I just want people to leave Mark to do what he wants to do and not try and drive him off the platform. I mean, if you could and you were willing to, and you agree that people should be free to do what they want, they shouldn't be judged for it, go over to this video and take a step back from all this hate and let him know that it's good, it's fine to be what he wants to be. He shouldn't have to like not make content. He shouldn't have to worry about what these people are saying. I am not necessarily the most, well, I feel like I can be quite articulate, to be honest, right? But I'm not someone who puts a lot of forward planning and thought into my videos before I start making them when I hit record, right? So I just need to clear up some caveats at the end, because I don't want this to get spun off into something it's not. Oh, the comment that was mentioning about Painblade, that wasn't an attack on Painblade in any way, shape or form when I said that he shouldn't necessarily be held up as an example to us, that we should follow him and he's not like a therapist and stuff. That wasn't like any hate or anything like that. That was just me literally saying that different people have different approaches. Just because one person has one approach doesn't mean that we all have to like look to that person as an example, you know. There was no like ill will or anything there. It's just literally, I don't think it's very fair for someone to come on and basically hold up one content creator as the bastion of how it should be done, because it's not. It's not. It's a style. It's a style that works for that person, and it lines up with their morals of what they want to do. So like, that's fine, that's all well and good, but people shouldn't really go to Mark and say, oh, you need to learn from this person, brother. I just don't really think that's the way to go about things. Anyway guys, this isn't a rant. I mean, my speaking style, and the fact I'm Scottish, and the fact that it's 7:30 in the morning, and I'm trying to keep my voice low enough that I don't annoy the assholes that live next door, probably might make it sound a little bit more ranty, but you know what? For me, this is quite an emotional topic. I don't think it's very fair. I really don't. I don't think it's very fair that people would judge Mark in such a way, and I want my friend to enjoy what he's doing and feel that he can do it without being judged, and I really hope you guys will show him some support and let him know that it is okay to be that way. Anyway, I'm going to go just now and take out a new credit card so I can get myself a copy of Vergil up to max. I'm joking. I'm not going to. I'm not even going to summon for him anymore. I got one copy and that's it. But yes, anyway, eat, pray, be merry, say to your loved ones that you love them and all that stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace, guys.